Masterpiece by Elise Broach. Chapter 1. A Family Emergency. Home for Marvin's family was a damp corner of the cupboard beneath the kitchen sink. Here, a leaking pipe had softened the plaster and caused it to crumble away. Just behind the wall, Marvin's family had hollowed out 3 spacious rooms, and, as his parents often remarked, it was a perfect location. It was warm because of the hot water pipes embedded in the wall, moist to make burrowing easy, and dark and musty like all the other homes the family had lived in. Best of all, the white plastic wastebasket that loomed on one side offered a constant litter of apple cores, breadcrumbs, onion skins, and candy wrappers, making the cupboard an ideal foraging ground. Marvin and his relatives were beetles. They had shiny black shells, 6 legs, and excellent night vision. They were medium-sized as beetles go, not much bigger than a raisin. But they were very agile, good at climbing walls, scurrying across countertops, and slipping under closed doors. They lived in the large apartment of a human family, the Pompadys, in New York City. One morning Marvin awoke to find the household in an uproar. Usually the first sounds of the day were the gentle rustlings of his parents in the next room, and, in the distance, the clank of pots in the Pompaday kitchen sink. But today he heard the frantic clicking of Mrs. Pompaday's high heels and her voice anxious and shrill. Just as he was beginning to wonder what had happened, his mother came looking for him in a great hurry. "Marvin," she cried, "come quickly, darling, we have an emergency." Marvin crawled out of the soft cotton ball that was his bed, and still, only half awake, followed her into the living room. There his father, his Uncle Albert, and his cousin Elaine were deep in conversation. Elaine ran to him and grabbed one of his legs. "Mrs. Pompaday has lost her contact lens. Down the bathroom sink. And since you're the only one who knows how to swim, we need you to fish it out." Marvin drew back in surprise, but his cousin continued happily, "Oh, what if you drown?" Marvin was not nearly as thrilled at this prospect as Elaine. "I won't drown," he said firmly. "I'm a good swimmer." He'd practiced swimming for almost a month now in an old juice bottle cap filled with water. He was the only member of his entire family who could swim, a skill both his parents marveled at and took credit for. "Marvin has exceptional coordination, such a fine control over his legs," Mama often remarked. "It reminds me of my days in the ballet." "When he set his mind to something, there's no stopping him," Papa would add smugly. "He's a chip off the old block." But right now, these words were little comfort to Marvin. Swimming in a bottle cap was one thing. It was half an inch deep. Swimming inside a drain pipe was something else altogether. He paced the room nervously. Mama was talking to Uncle Albert, looking mad. "Well, I should think not," she exclaimed. "He's just a child. I say let the Pompadays call a plumber." Papa shook his head. "It's too risky. If a plumber goes poking around in there, he'll see that the wall is rotting away. He'll say they need to replace it, and that'll be the end of Albert and Edith's home." Uncle Albert nodded vigorously and beckoned to Marvin. "Marvin, my boy, what do you say? You'll have to go down to the bathroom pipe and find that contact lens. Think you can handle it?" Marvin hesitated. Mama and Papa were still arguing. Now Papa looked at him unhappily. "I'd go myself, son. You know I would. If I could swim." "No one can swim like Marvin," Elaine declared. "But even Marvin may not be able to swim well enough. There's probably a lot of water in that pipe by now. Who knows how far he'll have to go?" She paused dramatically. "Maybe he'll never make it back up to the surface." "Hush, Elaine," said Uncle Albert. Marvin grabbed the fragment of peanut shell that he had used as a float when he swam in his own pool at home. He took a deep breath. "I can try, at least," he said to his parents. "I'll be careful." "Then I'm going with you," Mama decided, "to make sure you aren't foolhardy. And if it looks the least bit dangerous, we won't risk it." And so they set off for the Pompadays' bathroom, with Uncle Albert leading the way. Marvin followed close behind his mother. The peanut shell stuck awkwardly under one of his legs.